Don in London, good morning. March 14th, 2009. My video is all about recovery from either addiction to substance or behaviour. My substance of addiction was alcohol, my behaviour a bit of an aholic in all departments. Workaholic, relationshipaholic, perfectionistaholic. All about one ism really, that is the ism of life, being addicted to it, and no balance. So a person on it the extreme really, of either doing something or not doing something, and maybe nowhere in the middle where life is a bit more balanced. So where am I today? Well, I'm still in recovery, one day at a time, and it's been a fascinating week of pain, emotional, spiritual and physical. I'm still going through regime changes to do with type 1 diabetes and clinical depression, which does have a great impact on how I'm doing. At the same time, I keep with recovery, and the fellowship which keeps me able to do one day at a time is Alcoholics Anonymous. And every time I go to a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, this is the preamble that is shared. And this week, very tough. Anyway, here we go, the preamble. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And yesterday I went to a very funny meeting of AA where the person doing the chair, well, they will remain anonymous, but it was funny and also sad. Much mention of my friend and sponsor who died last Monday, and you know, a lot of people knew this person and will sadly miss him, and so will I. You know, when we have a fellow in fellowship, we understand each other on a level which many people probably don't, and that's simply knowing the malady of addiction and being able to deal with it one day only, today. So for me, in my malady, I'm always trying to get things perfect, and I've done something to my computer, so I'm hoping this might work, it may not. But life is alright. The sun's just come through this morning, although rain is forecast. And I've been looking at the books to get some inspiration to do this video, as well as uninstalling and reinstalling all sorts of programs. And maybe I have made the classic mistake of doing things I don't think I know, doing things I think I know, and realising I don't know very much. Anyway, March, third month of the year, March 14th, and this book, Daily Reflections, gives me a daily reading, if you like to help me with my understanding of how to make life work just for today. But March is the third month, and there are 12 steps of action for people in the fellowship. 12 steps, third step, all about, if I can find a piece of paper, which I've hidden under something else. Yeah, third step, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. And I have to look at it from time to time because my memory at the moment is shot to pieces. To do with clinical depression, it's just one of those things. Anyway, March 14th in this book, the keystone, and be careful of the way it's put. It's put in a way which can put some people off, so I'll try and explain how it works for me afterwards. He is the Father, and we are His children. Most good ideas are simple, and this concept was the keystone of the new and triumphant arch through which we passed to freedom. That comes from AA's big book, page 62. And then it's a keystone is the wedge-shaped piece at the highest part of an arch that locks the other pieces into place. The other pieces are steps 1, 2 and 4 through 12. In one sense, this sounds like step 3 is the most important step, but the other 11 depend on the third for support. In reality, however, step 3 is just one of 12. It is the keystone, but without 11 other stones to build the base and the arms, keystone or not, there will be no arch. Through daily working of all 12 steps, I find that that triumphant arch waiting for me to pass through to another day of freedom. And the day of freedom really is freedom from drink, and also the obsessiveness or the selfishness, self-centeredness. You know, it's all about me, And actually it's not. It's about the world and where it is and where is the balance in all these things. I'm going to pause for a moment. I even forgot to set my clock. I haven't overrun completely. So, that daily reading, where it talks about the keystone, step 3, and where it says for me, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. God for me is very simple. You've got to keep your own understanding of God always. It's your understanding which counts, not mine. And I don't know if it's an atheist, agnostic, secular type of God that I have, but it's the only one I understand so far. God is love, God is truth, God works through people. So it's very much in the here and now. And being in the here and now is so important simply because being in the now is the spiritual moment, where if we can cut off all those, or shut down all those filters, shut down the denials of I can't believe it, I don't want it this way, then life can be a lot sweeter, even if it's horrible, because we know what we're living through and we're not denying it. So this week has been tough. I've been careless. I've lost a good friend. I've lost a girlfriend. I've had memory lapses all week, and it's peculiar, and I don't like it, but I'm living with it. And I keep a sort of systematic pattern of going to meetings of AA, just so I keep connected to what is going on around me. Isolation will make me more and more miserable, so it's very important I get out there and be a part of. And I'm making tea again today, which is a good thing, but I'm sad that the person who was doing it can't do it today. As Bill sees it, this book, another one, Inspirational on a Daily Basis, and it says Seeing is Believing, page 47. The Wright brothers' almost childish faith that they could build a machine which would fly was the mainspring of their accomplishment. Without that, nothing could have happened. We agnostics and atheists were sticking to the idea that self-sufficiency would solve our problems. Well, actually, I don't think that's true. I don't think most agnostics or atheists think that self-sufficiency is the answer. I believe they would see it as a mutually supportive community, society and civilization. And it's not about, just because you're an agnostic or an atheist, it doesn't mean you want to be top dog. It's about being interdependent with what is going on around us. When others showed us that God's sufficiency worked with them, we began to feel like those who had insisted the Wrights would never fly. We were seeing another kind of flight, a spiritual liberation from this world, people who rose above their problems. And whether you're a believer, an agnostic or an atheist, I don't want to convert anybody into anything. My conversion, if you like, is knowing I'm not God. And I say that with a smile and a bit of a jesting part, if you like. But the seriousness of this is about interdependence, that we have a mutuality. We're not exclusive, and we can't control the whole show. I feel that is the most important message. And if I look at the summary again of what the step 3 says, where it says made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand Him. It's your God you need to understand, or your understanding of God, or a higher power, and not knowing that you're not one. You're not it. So step 3 is like opening a locked door. How shall we let God into our lives? Willingness is the key. Dependence as a means to independence or interdependence. Dangers of self-sufficiency, turning our will over to a higher power, misuse of willpower, sustained and personal exertion necessary to conform to God's will, or just good conscience for me. And it's not just good conscience, it's the collective understanding of how to live life, and that's about living to the good of life rather than the bad or the sad. The trouble is, with serenity, that prayer, serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, that is, powerless over people, places and things, accept the things that I can change, that is, knowing my choices based on what is available in my immediate world through, I guess, understanding and collaboration. Then I start to make some sense of what is going on. So God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I'm powerless over people, places and things, but I have some choices. Courage to accept. God grant me the courage to accept the things I cannot change. The serenity. See, I'm losing it again. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Even if I have much pausing and amnesia at the moment, it's just the way life is for today.